Alright, vinyl community, hello. I am Dom, otherwise known as Dusty Visions for Searching for Thread, a radio show I do here in Ithaca. You can find the link below if you're interested in checking out that show. I have it podcasting all over the place. It's a show I do that sort of highlights all different kinds of music. Just playing records every day, or every week I should say. But we'll get into more of that maybe in a future video, but I want to respond first because I've been watching Psychederek's videos recently, and I was intrigued by his mainstream video. So I thought I would just sort of pull together all the mainstream records I had. These aren't really necessarily ones I'm looking for, but the ones I have that I'm just kind of looking to show here. Because the mainstream label definitely put out some great ones that I'm getting tough to source these days. And I do like the mainstream label. I like the whole design. All the bands were sort of, all had a very obscure quality to them. A lot of one-offs, tough to find. Solid Psych records for the most part. Definitely some duds too, but higher percentage of hits, that's for sure. So I'll start with this one, Superfine Dandelion on mainstream. And I like this one. This one's not crazy in terms of its psych or psychness, but a really great folkier psych record, I suppose. More on the rock side, folk rock, but there's some really cool trippy stuff too. The Other Sidewalk, that track definitely comes to mind. Pretty solid cover, of course. And a band out of, I don't know, but solid on the mainstream label. Amboy Dukes. The only one I have, and the only one I decided I'll keep. I don't really care for any of the other records. I mean, the Nuge, just obnoxious. But Journey to the Center of the Mind is a great song. And this record, while it does lean heavy on the blues rock, which we can all agree is quite annoying in Psych, isn't it? This is the one record that I ended up keeping. I had some other ones, got rid of them. I think that Migration one that you showed there, Mr. Psychederek, haven't heard that one actually. The first one I got rid of, and there was another one, and there's the Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes records. There's a lot. That's my cat. Here's a more recent one, a comp. Had this on CD for a long time and recently got this. This has a bunch of bands out of San Francisco who had like basically just singles, and Euphoria, who has one of the great all-time Psych records on Capitol, a gift from Euphoria, which I do have. And these other bands were compiled later on in other places, and they had some singles out, and that was it. And this Euphoria single is not on the album, but it's basically two sides of that, and this is excellent. I think the Harbinger Complex were compiled on like the second Nuggets, or like the CD box set version of Nuggets. And yeah, the other bands were sort of obscure San Francisco bands, but great comp on the mainstream label. Original press, I don't know, this probably got reissued as like a Scorpio or a boot of some kind. Do love the mainstream label. I got a lot more than I'm looking for. The Growing Concern, I used to have a reissue. I don't know what I did with that. Got rid of that. I would love the original on that. Ellie Pop, really poppy. And this is a reissue. I haven't found this one yet. This one I don't know that I would pop for an original. This is a lovely red vinyl copy. But another great one that's sort of quick album, as a lot of these were back in the day. And this is a collector's edition. Now, I didn't look up and see what else they have in terms of, they probably had a 45. But Ellie Pop, this one I looked at maybe trying to get rid of, because I've been, trying to keep the collection tight, not that tight here. But it passed the sniff test. Tangerine Zoo. Now, I haven't heard the other Tangerine Zoo that you showed, Derek, but I don't know. This one is good, but I get the sense that maybe not quite as great as the other one. But this is I guess it's the first Tangerine Zoo album. This is an original press. Do have a nice copy of this, so I'm enjoying it. But I've played it recently, and It's excellent. A lot of organ, but definitely psychedelic. I do have some other mainstream records too, some jazz and some Lightning Hopkins, but yeah, I'm just going to show the Psych here today. Tiffany Shade. Here's one I would love to get. I was eyeing a UK pressing of this, which was interesting, but I'm going to hold off for now. I got this at Other Music, rest in peace, $14.99. It was a good deal. Back in, don't know, but $15 probably had to be a long time ago, at least over 10 years ago. Other Music was, I'm originally from the New York area. I lived in Brooklyn until about 2013. Now I'm up in Ithaca, but Other Music was one of my spots for sure. This is the 180 gram reissue. Again, this is probably Scorpio. Yeah, you can see on the back actually, looks like Scorpio. And you see the little code there. Scorpio, for those who don't know, was like actually a great reissue label that would put stuff, repros, exact reproductions of these records at very cheap prices. So that's how you could get a lot of the main Psych records for like $15 a while ago. Scorpio's gone now, but they were awesome. Deep catalog of stuff. Yeah, I don't know if it was, you're not talking about quality source material here, audiophile remasters or anything like that, but a good way to get records of Psych. And the last mainstream I'll show, you didn't show this one, Derek, but I definitely love this one. This is a Native American group, Lincoln Street Exit. This one's probably the one I would most like to have an original of. This one I found on a road trip driving up from Virginia. I stopped into like a mall chain store and they had this cheap for, $12 or something. Snagged it. It's great. This is a great group. I've done a few radio shows focused on Native American rock, and I've played this, and I do have the original press of Exit that they would turn into. This is fantastic. This is really good. Almost has like a rural Psych vibe. This is not a mainstream. This is on the Canyon label, which released a lot of Native American music. Great inner sleeve there. I'll just show this, even though it's not mainstream. So that's what I got. Mainstream wise, I'm like, as I said, Want That Growing Concern, original Lincoln Street Exit. There's a few others on there, but love the mainstream label. This one's for you there, Psychederek. I'm going to make more videos. This is my first one into the vinyl community. I've been listening and watching them for years and years, and I've been collecting records for over 20 years now. Got a bunch here. I'll link to my radio show every week here on WRFI Community Radio in Ithaca. And, lots of records to discuss. Thanks for watching.